If you could go back in time, where would you go? Would you walk the streets of ancient Greece, take in a gladiator battle in the Colosseum of Caesar's Rome, or to see how the Great Pyramid was constructed? More importantly, what would you do? The common answers to this are maybe to go back and stop Hitler before he rose to power, or like Biff and the Almanac in Back to the Future, use the advantage of what you know to go back and make a fortune. And it's in this realm where this unlikely story of money, greed, and a little bit of magic. This is the story of the time-traveling stock trader. 2002 to 2003 was not a simple time to be making money in the stock market. A combination of the stock market closures following the September 11th terrorist attacks of 2001, the bursting of the dot-com bubble, and accounting scandals in several blue-chip companies such as Enron meant that between January 1st, 2001 and December 24th, 2002, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, an index of 30 prominent companies in the US, had dropped by 27%, a total loss of $5 trillion off its value. Before we go any further, what would you do if you could travel through time? Take a moment and tell us in the comments below. When an article appeared in the Weekly World News about the extraordinary results of a little-known stock trader, it caught the attention of the financial world. The article claimed that a man named Andrew Carlssin had been arrested for turning an investment of $800 into $350 million in just 2 weeks. It said that Carlssin made 126 consecutive trades in the US stock market in just 14 days. And despite the incredibly high risk of each trade, he won every single time. He quickly caught the attention of the federal investigators at the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC, who were sure his success could not be put down to sheer dumb luck. They arrested Carlssin for insider trading, which is buying or selling a stock based on having non-public or privileged information. Essentially, it's cheating. An example would be if you were Elon Musk's best friend and you sold your shares in Tesla because he told you that tomorrow he was going to file for bankruptcy. You have confidential information on the company's future, which is illegal to use to your advantage. Carlssin's winnings are not the weirdest part of the story, however. During a 4-hour confession to the FBI, he claimed that the reason he was able to make such an astounding amount of high-risk trades in a row was because he had traveled back in time from 250 years in the future, bringing knowledge of which stocks were set to go through the roof and precisely when a spike in share price would occur. He was then able to pick his moment to buy shares in those companies and sell at a profit every time. Obviously, the authorities didn't believe his story. However, the article quoted an SEC source who admitted if a company's stock rose due to a merger or technological breakthrough that was supposed to be secret, Mr. Carlssin knew about it in advance. The SEC also admitted that they couldn't find any record of Andrew Carlssin's existence before December 2002. You may be thinking that Andrew could have been wiser and made the streak seem more realistic than 126 consecutive wins. And he admitted this himself in his videotaped confession, saying, "It was just too tempting to resist. I had planned to make it look natural, lose a little here and there so it doesn't look too perfect. But I just got caught in the moment." In a final twist to the story, things took a turn for the stranger. The following week, the Weekly World News printed a follow-up article saying that the trader had jumped bail before a scheduled court hearing on April 3rd and hasn't been seen since. Despite an intense manhunt by federal lawmen, no one can find him. Some people are speculating that he might really have hopped in his time machine and escaped back to the future, declared a law enforcement source. So, is it possible to actually turn $800 into $350 million in 126 trades in 2 weeks? Well, in theory, yes. It's possible due to compounding, the process by which the mega rich in the stock market make their millions. Compound interest refers to the principle that when you save money, as well as earning interest on the savings, you also earn interest on the interest itself. Therefore, every year that the money is in your account, you're earning interest on each previous year's interest. This means that not only are your savings growing over time, but the rate at which they grow gets faster as well. For a simple example of how compounding works, take a roulette table at a casino. If you bet $1, the ball will land on black, and it does, then you win $1, as well as getting your original dollar back. You now have $2. If you then bet your $2 on black again, and you guess correctly, you now have $4. If you repeat this process just 20 times, each time betting all your money on red or black, and guessing correctly, you would walk out of the casino with over $1 million. This is the power of compounding in trading. The more money you make, the more you have to place on your next trade, and so the more you will win. To get from $800 to $350 million in 126 trades, Carlssin would need an average of around 11% gain on his trading balance for each trade. When you break it down like that, it sounds doable, though difficult. Unless you're a time traveler, of course. 11% gain is achievable, considering the supposed high-risk nature of his trades. High risk generally means high reward, especially as he was allegedly capitalizing on trades that no one else at the time was seeing. As feasible as the upturn in profits is, there's plenty of skepticism on the internet towards this unlikely tale. If you believe this, I have a bridge to sell you. It's made up. Nobody knows when it happened, where he lived, etc. Most skepticism lies in the lack of detail and little fanfare that the story attracted. And also because the Weekly World News was not a paper known as the most trustworthy source of news. For example, in editions of the same era, there was articles about super honey that cures all wounds, a hairy beast roaming the streets of London, and an attack by crazy killer ants. But nothing captured the imagination of the financial world like the unlikely tale of Andrew Carlssin, the time-traveling trader. Whether the story of Andrew Carlssin is true or not, we want to know what would be your plan to make millions if you had the power to travel back in time. Tell us in the comments below. For more incredible financial stories like this one about the Tinder swindler and the fact that he's not in prison, like, subscribe, and hit the bell. Thanks for watching.